What's up, everyone? Here we are. Here we go. This is episode 102, 101. I don't know. Whatever episode it is. Welcome to the beginning of the week. Let's get into this. Yep. Good to be here. Hello. Hola. What's another one you could say hello? Oh, konnichiwa. I love that, Konnichiwa. Bonjour. Huh? You like that? Bonjour. And bonjour, always, I don't know. It just sounds like, man, I don't know. It just sounds like, to me, it just sounds like something that you would maybe order off a menu at some place that serves some sort of creamy soup or something with maybe like half a baked spud that they just maybe, they just top that thing off on top of it and, break you off a little piece of Irish spring butter or whatever, or maybe they just chop up a bunch of cauliflower and some broccoli and stir that into some cream pudding and whatever they're doing, man. Or maybe it just sounds like bonjour, kind of sounds like it came out of a little Frenchman's navel or nasal canal, bonjour, something like that. It's fun to say. I love that shit. Like la quinta, that stuff was fun. All I know is that it's French, and that's about it. So, anyways, again, happy to be here with all of you guys. I hope you guys are having a wonderful start to your week. And dude, it's Monday. And today is the 17th of March, and it's St. Patrick's Day. It's St. Paddy's, or what some people may call it, that Shamrock Spectacular. And I've heard that before somewhere around, but I don't know. And today, man, you're gonna see some wild stuff. You just will, you may just be walking by someone's house, and you got these two guys that are just out there, just, probably, God knows. I don't know. Who knows? Anything. They could be out there dyeing each other's bodies green for all I know. That sort of thing. Or maybe, people are just dressed up in all sorts of crazy attire. Or you might see you might catch two pale whites, with long beards out there. And that's white people. You might catch them from the corner of your eye while you're walking to the bar, and you'll see them out there throwing a couple haymakers at each other in some alleyway. And that's just because, that's the kind of shit that you're going to see, and that's just what it is. So if that's your game, then this holiday is just for you, if you want to see a couple black eyes, a couple bloody lips, then hot damn, this is it, but damn, I remember living in Savannah. And, Savannah gets real Irish down there. That's just what it is, because Savannah's just, they're that Irish, they're an Irish town. That's what they are. And most people, they don't think about that when they think about Savannah. They think of other things, but they take this shit seriously. Today's a serious thing going on down there, just like in Chicago. They're doing it up, and they're, they're outside in their green shirts and green hair and they got some places on their body that you can't see that's green, and that's just what it is, because if you don't have any of that on you today, then I'll tell you what, there's hell to pay. That's just what it is, because they ain't messing around in damn savvy Savannah. That's a no-no. You'll go down there and everything is green. Everything. The water, your drinking water, your damn The beer's green, the fountains, even the damn river. Like I said, just like the Chicago River. And that thing runs all the way through Savannah, and they got that all decked out in green, and that's right next to the River Walk down there, and that's a beautiful place. They got all these little boutiques and shops, and the walkways all cobblestone, and it's just a really, really, really glorious thing to see if you haven't been down there. So, but what else? What else, man? The streets, man. The streets. Woo, boy, those streets. You'll see all sorts of weird shit. I remember one year, there was a guy, and he was dressed up as, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if he was selling shoes or lacing up shoes or whatever, but he was dressed up as some sort of cobbler, and maybe that's just him being just full-blown Irish, I guess, but who knows. But he had this little friend with him, and this little friend's doing, some sort of leprechaunish risk sort of things going on, like, he'd pick up if you had a hole in your pocket and you're dropping some change, he'd be out there picking up pennies off the ground. And I guess that's just as good as gold coins, I would imagine, for this little fella. But and he was out there playing this little Irish song on this or maybe it was just I think it was an Irish tune or something, but he's out there playing it on the smallest little flute imaginable, and it looked like one of those recorders that you would, remember back in grade school, they'd make you play those plastic pieces of shit, and everybody was horrible at them. A C flat turned into a B major, and an A sharp turned into an F sharp, and everyone's like, God, this is just so bad. And the teacher is like, hey, oh, you're doing so well. Just keep it up. Keep it up. You can do it. And I guess she was a little Irish. I don't know. But everyone used to be horrible at those things, except maybe one or two children. I guess because they were big into that recorder game. I don't know. Maybe their parents locked them up in their room and say, you got to learn how to play Mary Little Had a Little Lamb or whatever, or Humpty Dumpty fell off that wall or whatever, and you can't come out to eat before, until you get that, that tune right or whatever. But, maybe because they're just doing lessons, I guess, or whatever they're doing. But that taller man with that little itty bitty friend, he'd come up and Savannah's full of birds, birdry. I guess if that's a term for a lot of birds, I guess. I'm not sure, but he'd sneak up behind this little, feathered tail, pigeon or whatever, and he'd sneak up on him and he'd catch one of them, and then he'd go back over to his little place and he'd dip half that bird, right into some Sherwin-Williams green paint, so these birds that were once gray or some sort of smoke color, I guess, they got that new RGB look going on. So but that's something that used to happen, or at least that's something that I saw at St. Patrick's Day at one point in time. And but you see all sorts of crazy stuff out there, What else do they got going on St. Paddy's Day? Oh, they got the parade down there. The parade. Ooh, man. And look, I'm just going to say this, and I probably shouldn't, but I'm going to. Look, man, if you're a single man, and it's okay to be a single man. There's nothing wrong with it. But there's just certain cases with being single that that maybe maybe a parade isn't your best thing. Being single is great. Being single is like being, it's like you being your own CEO of your own life. With no board meetings. How about that? And there's no one, there's no one telling you what to do. And I guess there's just I guess that's kind of what scares me in a relationship, I guess, is someone telling me I should act like this or be this way, or I should do this just because they want me to, and that sort of thing. But I don't know. Okay, I'm getting off track. But man, where was I going? Oh yeah. But being single, going back to the parade thing and being single, dude, if you're a single male and you show up to a parade by yourself, you're either a pervert or you are looking for other men, maybe. I think. You're looking for other men to stick a finger right in your ass and shake that little thing around inside of you. Especially on a day like St. Patrick's Day. Because again, everyone's out there wearing green shirts and necklaces and everyone's touching on each other and everything, just because of all the alcohol that's involved. There's so much alcohol out there on this holiday. And that's when things get real Irish. Is that all day drinking, that day drinking and parades, you combine those two together and you might as well start questioning your own sexuality, because because you'll have a bunch of men out there that have been boozing, doing that liquid drop, that sort of thing since like 11 a.m., and they start out there, you'll see them. They'll stand out there shoulder to shoulder at 11. And they're all having a good time and all that. And that's okay. That's great, And then when 1 o'clock rolls around, that shoulder to shoulder, turns into them like kissing on each other on their, kissing each other's cheeks and that sort of thing, coming up and planting one right on, a fellow St. Patrick's Day, connoisseur, I guess, they'll blast one out right on you. And then by 3 o'clock, dude, you can't tell who's straight or who's gay. That's just what it is. Because, you'll see two men out there playing human taxi, with each other, and they're just running their fingers through their hair and they're just, and 3 hours ago, they were out there just eating chicken tenders at some food truck. And now, everything kind of went in a direction that no one thought it was gonna, that wrong turn, I guess, or whatever you want to call it. But, and I guess that's going real Irish, and I guess that's what that's all about. But I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe it's something I need to look up or whatever before I should say anything or whatever. But damn, man, St. Patrick's Day and day drinking, it was always just it was just fun. Day drinking, do you remember that? Day drinking? Because it used to be so much fun. So much fun. Because you didn't know what was going to happen at all. People are out there all day just drinking and eating the worst shit that they could possibly even imagine, and they're just throwing up in trash cans or on each other, and it doesn't sound like it, but dude, those were joyful times. They just were growing up, because you were young and quite frankly speaking, when you're young and you're doing day drinking, you start to, you don't give a fuck. You just don't. And you and your buddies would go out and you always had that one friend that you like, I don't know, that would always do some wild shit, like like I had one friend to pretend, he pretended that he was he drink a lot. And then he pretend that he was a ninja. And then he'd run into a Kroger or a Food Line or something like that, and he'd steal like 4.5 steaks. And later on that day, he'd get more drunk. And I don't even know what happened to that other half of the steak, but he'd get real drunk and he'd start, texting your sister, even though she's married and she's got like 3 or 4 kids. But that didn't stop him because at that time he was alcohol induced and he just thought that just meant that she was playing hard to get, I guess. But we were always doing pranks on each other, when we drank. Speaking of which, I don't know if I like this flavor, but whew, God. But yeah, we were always playing pranks on each other. And I remember one of my buddies stole my phone one time after a hard night. I mean, we were going in the paint, and so he pretended to be me after he took my phone. So he texted 3 of my ex-girlfriends and somehow got all of them to get on a group chat. And then he asked them if they wanted to, get into a gangbang, essentially. And the entire time, I'm asking anyone to bring me a toilet while I'm throwing up in the front yard. And so the next day when I got my phone back, I just, I'm looking at what occurred, and I didn't remember anything. But essentially, they ended up all hating me because, they thought he was me, and that's just what it is. And this guy and my other friend, they kept this secret from me for like 4 years. And that's just how things go when you're out there, doing day drinking. It's just what it is. My brother has this friend, Froggy. And Froggy, he's kind of a heavyweight, so to speak. He weighs like 298 pounds, and he's been afraid that he hasn't met that 300 max range. He's been trying for a long time, and he just hasn't met that goal yet. But one time, one St. Patrick's Day, they were day drinking, and all the wives. There's like five wives, 5 guys, and it sounds like a burger joint all of a sudden. But the guys and girls, they separated, and the guys went to go play golf, and the girls went to go do whatever. And Froggy and his wife were staying at this one house. And the guys went to go eat some sort of Mexican food, because this takes place in El Paso and that sort of thing. And so Froggy, he gets dropped off at the place that he and his wife are renting, and he's searching in his pockets, and he doesn't have the key to the house. And so the next thing he's trying to break in as any 300-pound person would. They're looking for the lowest window possible to crawl into, and he finally found one. And so he jumps in there, and he's about halfway in there, and the next thing is Rumble Tuna, his stomach starts doing that gurgling sound, because I guess once he laid his belly down on the windowsill, then that essentially, reacted something in his body. And so now he hopped out the window, and he's about to, go, he's about to poop on himself, essentially. And so he runs out. He's trying to look around, and there's no place to go, because there's not very many trees in anyone's front yards or backyards or anything. But he noticed that in the backyard of the neighbors, there was a tree. So he hopped back down. He essentially broke into this backyard, and he, the trees across the yard, and he just couldn't make it. So he just pulled down his little pantalones and he just sprayed out all over the side of this of this house, and and it was chaotic. That's all it was, because there's drippage all over the place. And so, he pulls up his pants and finally gets back into his house. And this little old lady, about an hour later or so, comes by, and, it's because she lives there, and she's letting out her 2 dogs. And the kind of dogs are going over to that corner, and they're sniffing around. And the old lady's like wondering what the dogs are sniffing at. And sure enough, she sees that brown Titanic explosion all over the side of her, on the side of her house. And she freaked out. And so, Froggy's wife shows up about 30 minutes later or so. And so the neighbor comes out and says, "Hey, did you see a bear duty on my house?" And she's like, "A bear? Dude, we are in El Paso, Texas. We ain't got no bears around here, lady." So later on, about 2 hours later, Froggy just decided that he's got to confess. And so he walks over to the neighbor's house and, explains to her that he had that rumble in the jungle in his stomach, and so he had to go out there and spray her house off and that sort of thing. But yeah, man, St. Patrick's Day drinking, that can lead you to, some mishaps here and there. That's just how it goes. So, but anyways, I just hope that everyone today has a safe and happy St. Patrick's Day. So, if you find yourself in precarious situations like that, then maybe it's time to, I don't know, maybe it's time to call it quits before something happens, I guess. I don't know. Whatever it is. But if you guys ever get a chance, you guys should really take a trip down there to Savannah, Georgia, and see what's cracking with the St. Patty's parade and everything. Or maybe not the parade. Let's stay away from the parade. I mean, if you're married, you got some kids, and they're all dressed up, and they're, throwing glitter on each other or whatever they're doing, And there's certain adults that'll do that too out there, I mean, they'll hit you with more than glitter. So, but anyways, what else? What else is going on? Oh, I sat down, I watched Bill Burr's new special that came out a couple days ago. And man, I loved it. I did. I think Bill, his last special was good. This special, I'm not going to give away anything or any of that, but it just, I don't know. It just, there were so many jokes, and he had this one that, again, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but he had this, he's talking about the KKK and how he presents it is just, I don't know. It's just something magical. Something about it just, I don't know. It's not like any of his other specials. And he had, again, man, I wish I could tell you some of this stuff, but he did a great job on it, and it's gotten really good reviews. And it's just about him being older, being older and getting, being a little bit more wiser and most important, just being a husband and being a parent and that sort of thing. But I don't know. There was just something about it. It wasn't like any of his other, specials. And he has, and this guy's got, I don't know how many specials. 8, 7, something like that. He comes out with one every 2 years. So, but big ups to Bill, man. I mean, I don't know. I don't see how this guy does it. I mean, he's everywhere. He does podcasting. He does, marriage. He does, cartoon work, that sort of thing. He's a drummer. He's a pilot. He just has all these activities going on. You're like, how do you get so much done? I just, there's something about it or him that is just makes me wonder if it's just every day, if there's just something that happens that I don't know. I'm just kind of interested into seeing what his day to day would be like. And I'm not trying to say like I'm trying to watch him get dressed or anything like that, because that's weird. But just I guess I just don't understand or can't see, or I don't know. Like being a comic and being on the road all the time. How do you do it? How do you do the marriage and the kid thing? And Jim Gaffigan or whatever his name is. Shit, I'm botching his name and I apologize for that, but he has a whole football team. He has a basketball team of children. And somehow he still does movies and commercials and stand up, and and he puts together material. It makes me exhausted to even think about it. But sorry guys, this time change is still messing with me. And last night, I don't know, or the night before, the winds. Because we're on the East Coast. We're in Asheville, North Carolina, and hot damn, the winds. They were kicked up, and I could have swore I heard someone, there were sirens going off, and I mean, it was like the damn hurricane all over again. So, but it was just crazy. But man, where was I going with this? I don't know. Just if you get a chance, check out Bill Burr's new special. It was really, really, really good. So, what else do we got going on this week? March Madness is happening. That's good. March Madness, that kicks off. So you'll see a bunch of people, playing that wallet roulette. That's also known as gambling. That's just what it is. And man, back in college, that's what we used to do. We used to gamble. We used to put $1 down on all the in-play or all the first round games. And then second round games, it was $5 and then $10. And by the time you added everything up and split the money and everything, I mean, there was more than enough to dish out for the winners, and that's what we used to do back in the day in college. There was gambling going on everywhere, and that was just what we did. And some people it worked out better than others, and other people had to move away because, they just got too deep into it. And that's just, that's kind of, my brother's kind of the same way, not to put his personal stuff out there, but he has all the luck in the world and can't, fucking scratch 2 pennies together or dimes or damn, I mean, call it a nickel and a penny or whatever, man. It's those little pennies that little small, that small, that little guy, he's picking up that shit off the street. So, he's doing better than my brother, I guess. So, but yeah, they're announcing the games tomorrow. So, I can't really put that up right now to see who's in who's in what bracket or who's in it or anything like that. But just know that it's coming around. So so get ready. Hide your wedding rings and your car title and all that other stuff, because that's what people will do when they start gambling. They'll put their damn house up for sale if they think that they got a good chance of winning something. Maybe winning a new wife or something. But yeah, and people get crazy. People get crazy around this time. That's why they call it March Madness, really. Because you don't know what's going to happen, and that's a great thing about that. So, but what else is going on, man? Oh, I guess let's jump into a little bit of news real quick, and then after that, I don't know. We really don't have a lot on for this episode. I guess it's just really just want to say happy St. Patrick's Day, and hopefully everyone stays alive and isn't doing any of that booty touching, men on men, or if you are, that's okay. It's whatever you're into, man. So let's see what's going on. It says Los Angeles man awarded $50 million in the case against Starbucks after suffering permanent injuries from a spilt tea. So, I guess this happened back in 2020. Michael Garcia was awaiting a delivery on February 8th when the barista handed him a tray full of drinks, and one overturned, and essentially, got him in his medicine balls. You know what I'm talking about? Got him in his little, to-go carrier, in his crotch, because that's where that spilt drink went. It says that Starbucks says, I guess his attorney or whatever is saying that, like, if Starbucks hands you the drink and it doesn't have a lid on it, or it's not secured and it's scalding hot, about 200 degrees, or, whatever Satan takes his baths in, or whatever, if they hand you the drink and you take and the lid isn't secure or whatever, and once it goes from one exchange to the other, then whatever happens, it's on you, essentially. So in this case, Mr. Garcia, he had his little purse, down below that crotch. He's got that. He had some nerve damage and third-degree burns and everything on his his genitals. And so now the lawyers have said that he's had to have multiple surgeries, and that's, I guess while you're down there, shoot, man, stick, you better, make that thing larger or whatever, because with a name like Michael Garcia, there you go. But he says there's no amount of money that can undo the catastrophic harm that I've suffered. But the jury made the verdict, and now he's owed. It only took 40 minutes. It says here 40 minutes, and he was awarded $50 million in damages from Starbucks. And you know what? That's fine. Really. That's fine. Starbucks, you're making how much off of a cappuccino frappole or whatever, topped off with whipped cream and a couple sprinks on there or whatever, a couple sprinkles and coffee toffee and whatever else, makes me wonder how much does Starbucks make in a year, you know? If I could type today, make in. That's even better. Make in a day, huh? Holy God. Oh my. Really? It says right here, Starbucks earns approximately $61.3 million every day. So one day pays for that guy's settlement. My God. And it says, based on its annual sales of $22.39 billion. That's unbelievable. No way. It says on slower days. On slower days. Wow. Slower. Oh, let's see. Averages. Oh, okay. Yeah, it says on a slower day in a small town, it will average $4,000 to $8,000. And that's in a small town. Like, I mean, I don't know. Pick a small town. That's asinine. That's crazy. So really, I don't. Starbucks, like, really? You aren't losing out on anything. That's crazy. And he's only going to get like half of that money or whatever. So, but hey, Garcia, Mr. Garcia, I guess they, the jury sympathized with you and that's just what it is. But dang, I mean, that number that just makes me want to just stick my own dick in my own ass right now. That's just what it feels like, because that's crazy. I mean, it makes me want to try to see what I can go do real quick. And it said they initially offered him $3 million and then later offered him 30, and he still said, no, sorry, we are not doing that. My dick is in, it's 8 different shades of, of the sun, I guess, but that's nuts. All right. Anyways, what else do we got going on? I mean, really, there's not a lot going on, everyone. There's just, I know there is, but it's all political crap, and I don't really want to get into any of that. And that's another thing that Bill Burr in his special, he talks about his politics are a little janky and everything, and and I love it. I love that sort of thing. Do it. I mean, come on. I think there should be more political satire and everything like that, and people need to stop getting so damn butthurt over things. And I mean, because hey, man, it's all jokes, it's all fun, it's all in, it's just what it is. But he does bring up a lot of good points too. So, but that's crazy, unbelievable. But yeah, there's not a whole lot else that's going on. There aren't any really good movies out right now, but I will say this. I love like March right now, March and April. It's so nice to not have to, there's no, we get hit with so many birthdays and holidays and this and that and the other. And, and St. Patrick's Day, that's just, that's okay. It's not really a holiday. Not everyone, rolls with it or celebrates it, but, it just these 2 months, April, yeah, you got Easter, but Like, and a lot of people same way. A lot of people don't celebrate Easter, but yeah, you just don't have all the unnecessary stuff. Like, Valentine's Day rolls around and everyone's all like, ugh, I gotta do this already again for someone, even though Christmas was, a month. I already spent $5,000 on you for Christmas, and now, something else, and it's just, I don't know. I wish we had the holidays more separated out. Like leave Halloween there. Stick Thanksgiving in like August. Let's do that. Nothing happens in August. So you'd have July 4th, and then you got Thanksgiving. Then you got Halloween. We'll leave Christmas where it is, and that sort of thing. But I just wish it was more spread out instead of just bam, 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 bam. But I mean, hey, that's just how it goes. But anyways, yeah, I don't know, fellas, ladies. That's all. I think that's all we got for this week. Really, I just want to say happy St. Paddy's Day to everybody. I hope everyone out there's wearing green and doing, doing that day drinking and just having a good time more than anything. So, but anyways, all right. Well, I'm going to bounce. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. And, yeah, and we'll see where this upcoming episode goes. I've been so bogged down with work that, and I know nobody wants to hear about work. So it's been a long week, or last week was a long week, and hopefully this week will be better for not only me but for you. So, oh man, one of those lights, that light keeps on fucking flaking out on me, but. Anyways, all right, everyone, stay true to yourselves. Have a wonderful week. Stay green or whatever, and try not to get arrested more than anything. So, all right, guys, I'll catch you next time, and